Hi there, thank you for joining me today. This is Colleen from CT Sews. I've been playing around with my Kimberbell background quilting and decided to have a play with the border quilting. We buy this quilting all the time. Every time we buy a new project that comes out, we buy a new set of background quilting. We only use it for that project and we never look at it again. And I'm just decided to make good use of all the designs because they are really pretty. So I've come up with making key fobs using the border quilting designs. This is just a solid. I make them out of leftover scraps, especially the jelly rolls. This one's got Easter eggs, and both this one's got bugs, and both this one and that one I used variegated thread just to give it a variety of color. And then this has just got a bit of a Halloween theme. So I'll take you over to the machine and let's get started. To make this project, I am going to put 3 in the hoop. I'm going to make 3 in one go. Because I need it to be about 12 inches long, I'm going to use a 7x12 inch hoop. Just some scraps from jelly rolls, whatever you've got, some complementing thread, some hardware. You'll need a turning tool, and this of course to attach your hardware, bit of batting, and yeah, let's go over to the machine. So we're at the machine. I'm using Luminaire today, and I'll go to embroidery, and I'll attach the hoop. I've already gone to my settings and told it that I'm using a 7x12 hoop, and everything else looks okay, so I'll accept that. And I'll go to the pocket, and let me just activate the right USB. Right, I'll go to USB and I'll look for some quilting designs. So I'm gonna try Valentine 4, and I'm gonna take the 1x10, but it will be a little bit too narrow, a little bit too short. But because I need to broaden the design a bit, because I would prefer to be 12 inches, I'm going to take the 1x10 and I'm going to set it, and then I'll go to edit and size, and then I'll do the one with the 4 arrows so that all sides can be resized equally. And that's the biggest it will let me do. I can do it more if I press this button, but I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna push it to the side, out of the way. But within this line here, that is my hoop. So, So I'll just stay within the hoop, because if I put it outside the hoop, the machine is going to tell me that the design is too big for this hoop. So I'll say okay. And if I'm happy with that, if I was just making one, that's fine. But I'm going to put 3 in this hoop. So I'm going to add another one. And I'll add a different one. I like the one with the writing. I thought that's pretty cool. And this is Valentine 3. The other one was Valentine 4. This one is Valentine 3. And once again, I'll take the 1x10 and I'll set it and edit, size, and right, that's pretty. I'm going to push it over to that side, but remain within the hook. And that's fine. The reason why I'm not taking the 1 inch, the reason why I'm actually resizing the 1 inch is because it comes out too narrow. And this one is the one that I've enlarged, like we're making here now. But this one, I've added my name to it too. This one I didn't enlarge. I've left it as a 1x10, and I was really disappointed that when I put it into the clamp, it's too narrow, so it looks silly. It just doesn't work right. So that's the reason why I am fiddling with the size. I did try the 2 inch, and then it's just a little bit too big, which is not bad. I only made a short one. I think that's okay to attach to luggage. But if you want to use it as a keyring, I think it's a little bit too chunky. This one is perfect, especially for children, for anyone. So we've got that one now, and we'll go okay. And then we'll add another one in the middle. Let's take floral. Once again, 1x10. Set it, and you see the difference in the size, but we need it to be broader and longer. And I'll resize it. Sorry, my hand shouldn't be covering the screen, but I'm learning. And then I'll say okay. Now I'll leave it at that. At this moment we'll say embroidery, simply because I want them all to sort of move at the same stage, not do one by one. But I am gonna come back and add a name here so you can see how that is done. But if I do it now, it's not gonna allow me to do the color sort, and then we have to stitch one complete key fob and then another one. Like, I want it to all move together, so you'll see. So I'll go to layout and I'll press the color sort, and now everything will do all the placement lines together, all the tack down lines together, and it's just easier. So now we can start. I've just got a neutral thread color in that can blend in with all my fabrics. And this is the placement line for the batting. I'm going to put the batting down next. It does have a right side and a wrong side. You'll see that the knobbier side is the wrong side. And we'll place the batting with the right side up. So if you have smaller, narrower bits of batting, as long as you cover one whole area with your batting, you're fine. I've just got a big piece, and it's not necessary for me to stand and cut it, because this will cover the whole area, and I'm happy with that. And so this will do the tack down for the batting. And that will go around twice. Right, so that's the tack down lines for the 3 fobs. So now go and trim back the excess, trim away the excess batting. Okay, I've cut all the stabilizer away, and now it's going to do a placement line for the fabric. Anyway, it stitched the placement line for the fabric for all 3 of them. And so I'll place the fabric covering that. So this is just one long jelly strip. I didn't worry to cut it down. I just let it hang at the back as long as it's covering that whole placement line. That's good. And so now we'll just do a tack down line, and that will hold all the fabric in place. So because it's a border design, it will only tack down on either side. It won't tack down on the ends, because normally this is the one you use for sashings and borders. You can use tape or basting spray or glue to hold your fabrics down. I'm normally okay. I'm lazy and I don't like sticky stuff in my machine. They just cause a nightmare, expensive nightmares. Okay, so now it will do the quilting design, and this is where you would want to use a different color thread. Sometimes you might want a blending thread where it doesn't really pop, you just see the embossed look. But sometimes you want a contrasting color, and I'm going to use a contrasting color for that one and for that one. And I'm going to use a blending color for this one, simply because this one is already really busy. These two, the design is, it's writing, text, whatever. And so you would want to be able to read it. So I chose a contrasting color. So I'll just change the color, the thread in my machine, and I'd have to stop the machine before it goes to the next one, so that that we can have the right color on the right key fob. So I'll just... Okay, so I've changed my thread color, and I would have preferred to use a solid fabric. I think it would have looked better. But anyway, just using my scrap fabric. So that's one done. So it will go straight into the next one. So I have to stop it so that I can change my thread color. Use a pretty pink. See this one, a little bit too busy, but it will have to do. Someone will love it. These are nice and easy to make for kids that want to take gifts to school, for teacher, or if you want to sell it at the market. It's a good way to get rid of all your fabric. This one is more effective. I like this one. I want once again I have to stop it to change my thread color. Oh, and dust, complimentary dust coming out of my machine. Gosh. Lift the foot. Sorry if my arms are in the way. And these are just little daisy looking flowers. And I'm going to add a name to this one. Okay, so now we finish with all the quilting. As far as the machine is concerned, everything is done, it's finished. But we're actually not, because I really want to put a name on this one. I've left everything in the hoop, left the design up on the machine screen. And as you can see, it's gone back to zero. Right to the beginning of the design, and that's fine. I'm going to go to return and add. And I'll choose the text and the fonts, I should say, and I'll try this one. And the name I'm going to put in is Gabby. So it's on capitals. So G, and I'll go to lowercase and go A, B, B, Y, set. And then I'll come up here to edit. And I'm going to rotate it because I want it, yep, in line with the key fob. It's a little bit too broad, so I am gonna go back to edit, go to size, and I'm just gonna squeeze it in a bit. Hold on. Because what I can see here, the Y is sort of almost below the tack down line, so it's a little bit too low for me. So I'm just gonna I think that's fine now. So I'm gonna press back to center to make sure it's equally in the middle, and then I'm gonna move it down to the bottom. So where this cross is would be the center of the key fob, where it gets folded, and we want the name here. And so we can see that is the center, and we do want it just a little bit above, because at least a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch is going to be taken up by the clamp. So just move it to where you're happy to have it and go okay, and go embroidery. It's actually placed on the fob that I wanted placed on. If you like, I think it will show it should show, oh, because of the color, let me see. Oh no, it doesn't show up on camera. Oh, it's supposed a little bit where you can see the name, and that's fine. I'll just go okay. I've got the thread color I want to use loaded. So, oops, wrong. I should go back here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo that so that the hoop is not moving around every time I go backwards and forwards in steps. So I'm just going to advance here. Okay, so now we are at the name. And that's okay. So now we can put this down and the hoop will move to where it needs to be. And off we go. So that will take about 4 or 5 minutes, so I'll let it stitch out and come back once it's done, and then we'll do the next step to enclose the fobs. There we go, the name is complete now, so now we need to close this up. So we'll come back here. And what I will do is, I'll go back to layout. Now I'll go to return, and this name, I'm going to delete it simply because I want to once again do a color sort, and the machine will not do a color sort if you have a design on top of another design. So for me, it's quicker and easier to just delete that Gabby away because it's already stitched out. I don't need it again. And we'll go back to embroidery. And we'll do layout, press the color sort button, and once again it will now do every stage together. So we'll go there, we'll go to the needle plus minus. And the first stitch was the placement, because now we're right back at the beginning of the whole design. So the first stitch is the placement stitch for the batting. So we'll right, so now we will do the tack down for the batting. Pretend it's batting, but it's actually enclosing these. So this fabric that I pushed to the back because I was too lazy to cut, I'll just bring it forward, bring it over, pull a little bit back just so that I can have something. I've changed my thread back to just a blending color, which is like a cream color, because that color is good enough for all of these. I don't have to be changing threads unless it's a dark fabric, then I would want to put a black or a navy, whatever. This one is too short, right? It doesn't cover, and that's fine. I've got a spare piece. And I'll just close it up with a spare piece. And you know, if it was even a fabric with a different print, it's also fine. It's, you know, just being more creative. And now we'll stop the machine. Soon after it turns that corner, we will stop the machine, because we do need to leave a space open so that we can turn the design through. And so I've stopped the machine, and I'll just knot the tie off the thread, and then I will cut the thread. Oops. And I'll go back here, and I'll fast forward. I'll jump 30 stitches ahead, so I can press the number 10, the plus 10, 3 times, and that will advance it by 30 stitches. And I'll just secure my thread again, and press start. So this particular one, it travels twice around the design, and that's really good because it just means that it's more securely sewn. So as soon as it comes back to that same spot, I'll switch it off. Stop. Tie off. Cut. And stop. And you'll do that with each one. Right, so as soon as it turns that corner, we'll stop it. Stop. Tie off. Cut. And we'll secure that thread. And off we go. So I'll just let this complete, and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm at the table now. Everything is done. It's all finished stitching. I'll get it out of the hoop and trim it back, turn it through, and finish it off. I'll just trim it about just a little bit less than 1/4 of an inch away from the stitching. Alright, so I'll just trim everything up, and then we'll turn it out and show you. So I've trimmed these back. I've just left the lip of the opening a little bit longer because it just helps with tucking it in neater, a little bit easier to tuck in. I'm going to use this Turn It Alt tool. It comes with a few bits, all of these, but really I only use this and maybe that, but most of the time I will use my turning tool with it. And this is just a piece of tubing. Really, you might have some lying in your garage. Hubby might have a piece lying around. So I'll put that in there. Right down to the bottom. I'll take my turning tool. I won't take the pointy side because I don't want to poke a hole in my work. I'll use the proper thing. Let's just use the proper tool. And I'll put that in, push it in there. And we'll get that through. And really, you just work its way. That can go out. And that's how you turn your work through, because this is really narrow and it can be, and this is what I'm using now as the turning tool, just to tidy up the corners and the side seams. Just don't push too hard. You don't want it to go through your hard work. And then I just squeeze it just to open up those seams. Slide it along there. And then there's this part which is easy. Just poke it through. And then you go over to the iron and we'll just tidy that up. Or we'll do this one. Oops. Forgot to. Just went way beyond. Okay, when it goes in, it goes in. I forgot to pull it through this. I'm going to have to fight with this one a bit now, because once you push it in, it's nerve-wracking enough for me to be making a video, and of course something will go wrong, because that's how it goes. Okay, it survived. I got it out with a little bit of a fight. And one more to go. So this time we're going to be a bit more careful and not be too much in a hurry. What I forgot to do with that one was to let this one come through the opening, this end come through the opening, and that's with the result I pushed it down to the end and I couldn't get it out. And yeah, that was not fun. Let's tidy up those corners. So we'll just give it a nice iron, and then we'll top stitch all around it and put the clamp on. And just give it a nice press. I press it from the back just to not burn my thread, and it just helps it take shape. So And then this part, we'll tuck it in nicely. Give it a bit of a pull to get it line up nicely. Just a quick press. And press that down. And then we'll top stitch all around it, which will automatically close that little gap. Just roll your seams so that they can open up nicely. If you want to use a bit of best press starch of any kind, you can. I just prefer dry iron. This fabric was a little bit too busy for the design I chose, but I guess I'll live and learn. It's all about just taking a chance, and either it works or it doesn't. It will still be fine. Somebody will love it. See what I mean? It's, let me call you tweetart, but you can hardly read it. The fabric is too busy. Okay, let's top stitch this. I've changed my foot to a normal sewing foot, and we'll just go around this, top stitch all around. That automatically closes that opening. And what I do like to do is then to just take it, fold it in half, make sure that's nicely lined up, and then we'll just top stitch over there to stitch those two together, just because it makes it a bit longer lasting, and it makes it easier for when you put it through the clamp. So I'll just do that to the other two, and then we'll put the clamps on. Right, let's put on the clamps. This one came out really cute. Love bug, some knots and crosses and cutie pie. So with the clamp, there's the wrong side, I suppose, because it's got those little holes for those teeth that will grip onto the fabric to hold it in place. And then this will be the top side, the pretty side. So the pretty side would go at the top. Try and center it nicely. Some people like to put some glue in. That's not a bad idea. It will keep it in place. And then you take your clamp and just clamp it down. And put this up. I took this off just to attach these because it gets in the way. So put that back on. And there's that one. Oh, Gabby. And we'll put that in the middle. So that's why I've sewn this part together. It just holds it in and nothing comes out. And it holds it evenly together. And take your thingamabob. So my hands doesn't work very well for me. This is normally my husband's job, not mine. And put this on. And you got some key fobs to give to the kiddies or even adults. I wouldn't mind one on my earring, on my keys. And this one's not bad. This is just a broader one. It's nice to attach to your luggage at the airport, so it doesn't go lost. But anyway, that's it. Some key fobs. Thank you very much for joining me today, and hope to see you next time. Please like and subscribe. I really would like my channel to grow, so please help me if you like my work. Thank you. See you then. Bye.